obviously, is there a bond violation? The next question is B, what is the appropriate sentence for that bond violation? One of the things that I do think is especially relevant is I do think it would be relevant for the court's consideration in terms of a sentence for a bond violation, the context of the conversations. And I don't have that at this time. And I think it would be important for me to be able to prepare and for the court to have, because I mean, I don't want to necessarily go further today, but I think it does make a difference if there is contact with someone, versus if someone is calling, texting, and saying, will you respond? And then there's a response. I just think it matters in terms of sentence, even if it doesn't matter in terms of whether or not there's a violation, because one of the things that the state's witness said this morning was that she had been reaching out and asking for a response.
Your Honor, first of all, I'm sorry, may I?
Yes.
First of all, I don't appreciate that my conversation that I had with a victim in this case was overheard, listened to, whatever it may be. The part that's now being put on the record is also a great deal about why that victim did not show up today. And as we witnessed, quite frankly, she probably had good reason not to show today, because I don't know what defendant would have done. And I had to call this victim. I had to have deputies go out and have our victim advocate contact her and essentially tell her, take your kids and run, get out of the house, because that's very likely where he was going. After finding out that she was going to appear on Zoom. I mean, she was willing to appear on Zoom and testify today, despite all her hesitations. And he decides to run, and he's messaging. I cannot imagine a context where that is okay or acceptable or excusable in any way. We're here for a court hearing, and he is messaging her as we're talking to her. So I want to be very clear. I don't think it's appropriate to further put any statements the victim made on the record in front of this defendant, because quite frankly, we're just increasing her risk here. This is high lethality, 100%. And we are not going to contribute to making the risk for her even greater than it is by talking about statements she made in confidence speaking to me. We're just not going to do that. So I would ask Ms. Yagi to stop right there if she's going to get into further anything that has to do with what the statements the victim made.
I understand. I will request that it be set for bond violation hearing. I don't feel prepared today to address it. I think there are statements that are discoverable, and so I'll follow up with the prosecutor about that.
Can efforts be made to have the victim available next week?